Hey folks, my name is Pravus, and welcome to more Plague Inc. Evolved custom scenarios. Now I want to try out something today called Starpox, which sounds a little bit like Star Fox, but not quite, and I am all here for it. This is by Bosun Higgs. Doctor, something remarkable happened. A patient came in with glowing pimples that were strangely mesmerizing. Alert of the CDC doesn't seem to have any negative effects at this moment. Oh, it's gonna have some negative effects by the time I'm done, I can promise you that. Now you might be looking at this and saying, Pravus, that's 2 different sci-fi themed diseases in a row. What are the odds? Gee, I wonder why. It can't have anything to do with the brand new official disease type releasing in a DLC as of tomorrow. But we'll talk about that later. ATP boost, genetic mimic, oxide, hemophile, symptostasis, bacteria. Sure, I'll play Mega Brutal because I'm pretty confident. I'm a little bit less confident all of a sudden. We're starting in the USA. Well, that is not what I like to see, but alrighty. What do we have for transmissions? We've got ourselves insects, blood, air, water, livestock, birds, and rodents, all very normal things, but rearranged for some reason. Okay, for symptoms, this looks like a pretty standard setup, although we do have pimples down over here. Okay, so we've got anemia, we've got hypersensitivity, abscesses. This is a normal setup here. I'm just missing all the good stuff like sneezing and necrosis and stuff on the top. Gee, I really hope this isn't one of those scenarios where they basically just rearrange a few vanilla things, eliminate half of the map, and then say, oh look, it's custom. Because if so, I'm gonna get very peeved. There better be some actual customization here, that's all I can say. And then we have our normal resistances along here as well. I'm gonna start by picking up probably the rodents, because that's good in the USA since it is urban. We'll go for hypersensitivity as well for the rich regions. And hopefully that gives us at least a slight Kickstarter, though we're going to have to go for some very early drug resistance to have any sort of a chance at all. So yeah, about this whole new DLC thing that's coming out as of tomorrow, I'm amazed how many people have popped into the Discord, the fan Discord, and said, hey, are you going to play this? Are you going to make another guide? No, I was thinking I might just skip it this time, you know? It's only the first time we've had an official scenario in years or anything. I was just thinking, who cares about that? That's stupid. I'll waste my time. No, of course I'm gonna make a freaking Mega Brutal guide. It's actually bold of you to assume I haven't already. And I have, which is gonna be going live as of tomorrow. So if that's something you guys are interested in, then stay tuned because, well, it's gonna be interesting, but I don't want to spoil any more beyond that. Come on, give me one more point so I can get some gosh dang air transmission, please. Thank you. Good lord, I need to get away some of those stupid filters that are going on there. Now we can infect planes again. So we have tumors, and this does stop here. I'm gonna refund this because I do not want that right now. But picking up tumors did lead to something new up here. So there is some customization. Okay, that gives me at least a little bit of hope that this isn't going to be a total flop and a fail. We'll see. Of course, starting me off in the USA, though, what a mean-spirited thing to do. That's like one of the worst things you could do. Why start me in the US? I mean, the only worst place I can think of is like Canada. Why would I want to start in Canada? That's actually truly atrocious. Start me off in like France, Germany, same basic principle. Oy, oy, oy. You'd at least start me in Mexico, then at least I could get started and I'd have to get into the United States very quickly, but no. So I'm gonna get a terrible score. This is basically just a guarantee at this point. There's nothing I can do about it. But, oh well, I'll try to make this work somehow. Need a little bit more, let's say, urban or wealthy transmission. That would be ideal. Hot climates. The weird thing is the US is considered to be a hot country in this scenario. I did see that. Humid and hot, huh? Is that normal, actually? Is the US usually called... For some reason, my brain is not saying it usually qualifies as humid and hot. I'm wondering if that's something unique to this scenario. It may not be, though. It may not, and I'm overthinking it. Let's go ahead and pick up a level of insect. Again, spreading a little bit faster. Also, we're getting into several hot regions of the world pretty quickly right now, so anything that helps me along there would certainly end up being useful. Might need to go for some drug resistance level 2 to have a chance. Could alternatively try going for some rodents. Might want to go for some birds for the land transmission, but... Let's go for the water transmission instead for now, because right now we're getting around on planes plenty, but I am not seeing me get anywhere else. So we have rash. We can go for sweating, good for the cold countries. I'll pick it up, plus abscesses. That's going to lead to systemic infection. Interesting, because picking up tumors led to this earlier. So I'm wondering why it's gated differently, that not going for an ends point here would unlock systemic infection. Weird. Not opposed to it, but I do think that's a little bit weird, but all right. If the US is considered to be a hot country, we actually do need to get ourselves some cold resistance. I think that usually, that's one of the reasons I don't think you have to worry about that as United States. It's considered to be a temperate country where that wouldn't be necessary, but in this case, it absolutely is. I do really want to go for, let's say, some drug resistance level 2, though. We're just spreading too slowly in places like Europe. It's starting to pick up a little bit of speed now, which is good. They're going to start working on that cure very soon here. Looks like the USA is, in fact, a key researcher, though they have not really put too much into it yet. Let's go for a level of cold resistance. It's kind of expensive for the next one. Could go for the livestock. Might want to go for the air and then for an extreme bioaerosol, but I am debating going for those birds. A little bit of land transmission might be helpful, but let's see what else we got here. So we have fever, and we have the tumors. Both are going to have some lethality. Anemia leading into hemophilia. Now, anemia is not usually on this side, so I guess that should have been a cue to me that this is slightly customized. So, okay. Systemic infection is very infective, not lethal. I thought it was, actually, but that's interesting. Wait, okay, hang on. Add? Victims lose concentration and are unable to focus on time-extensive tasks or inflammation. Interesting. Add does basically nothing. It's 1 DNA. Add what? Add memory loss or add headaches? Is that what I'm doing? I'm basically taking a systemic infection and adding something to it. Slow down research with memory loss or headaches. Reduce productivity. Yeah, these are good ways of getting some severity. Not much beyond that, so I don't think that's necessarily what I need. I am debating going for the birds, but I think I'm actually going to go for the livestock to speed things up in places like Russia, since I know we're still having some trouble there. Let's go for some of that cold resistance as well. So we're good on that front. So now this is the point where I need to start thinking about where I'm going to get myself some additional lethality. We've got some points storing up for sure. Let's go ahead and... do I want to go for the air and try to get extreme bioaerosol, or do I want to go for things like livestock level 2? That's really hard to say, to be honest. I could go for the fever. A little lethality won't hurt too much yet. I'm going to go for the livestock and really try to stack this up. We just got fever whether I like it or not. All right, first death in Argentina. So we're starting to pick up some speed in Russia fairly quickly. Of course, getting into Greenland's one of the big issues. We actually got into all the islands pretty well. So bird transmission would solve some problems. We'll just do that. And I'm going to ignore the rest and start thinking about what else we can do. So let's grab headaches and memory loss. That's going to lead to seizures, which is lethal, and migraines. Increased work needed to find a cure. Very severe. That's my problem. I'm not a big fan of that. Going to go for a level of bacterial resilience. Might even go for a second. And I will. I'm going to save the rest of my DNA, but that is so much cold resistance, plus the birds doing their job, I'm hoping we're about to... Yep, we just got into Greenland. Okay, now I can go for a lot of things, but remember, we don't have necrosis, so I've got to be slightly careful. Let's go for inflammation. That's going to lead to skin lesions. Hello. That leads to plus pus. Gross. Open wounds begin oozing a terrible smelling pus. It almost smells of... What is that smell? Gas? Oh, God, is everyone about to explode? Might be. Immune suppression's fun and all. Let's pick this up. Plus pus, nitroglycerin. Okay, a byproduct of the cellular process is infected organs and bodily fluids may explode if struck with enough force. That is exactly what's about to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. You ever played the game Exploding Kittens? Well, now it's exploding humans. Bursting with love! Occasionally, nitroglycerin builds up in victims' hearts and goes off as it beats. Death is instantaneous and sudden. Surprisingly not as lethal as I might have expected otherwise, but it's fine. There's hemophilia, so we're gonna have to keep slowing down this cure since I haven't found any sort of a necrosis equivalent. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. Let's go ahead and pick up Bursting with Love, and with a bang! The whole body becomes a dangerous explosive. Their bodies glow like a star, making their organs and bones visible. Dead bodies become a source of transmission. Well, there we go. Now we got necrosis. I'm not worried about anything anymore. We're gonna be completely fine. Can we please stop Okay, Black Death, Spanish flu. Dude, I have played this game so many times, I don't know why this keeps popping up. I have turned this stuff off and it always resets itself after every freaking patch and it makes me angry. Whatever, anyway, let's go for the migraine, slowing down that cure. There is a coma, that's good, insanity. Okay, so we got lots of ways of slowing down the cure. Also, headbanger. Victim's head explode violently without warning. Infected tissue remains the source of transmission. So you can go in 2 different directions and get necrosis. Well, that's nifty. But at this point, oh, wait, I infected everyone and we win. Oh, well, that's nice. Okay, humanity ends with a bang. Everyone's been infected. It's now not a question of if, it's a question of when the last humans will explode. So we'll just cut straight to the chase. I think we all know how this is going to end. And let's just go ahead and skip to the end here. 473 days, 54% cure progress, 48,592 points. 2 stars because it wasn't incredibly fast, but I mean, like, there you go. You started me off in the USA. What can you do? Well, that ended a little bit surprisingly quickly, but fine, sure, whatever. I mean, yeah, I guess it was only a matter of time. There was no question that everyone was going to die. The problem is, if you just end it because everyone's been infected, well, what if it was really close? and like the cure could have finished, and then you would have been screwed. So, like, I don't really know why they went in that direction. There is a reason the game doesn't end when everyone's infected and only when everyone is dead. But fine, whatever, that's a decision that the developer decided to go with. We'll run with it. Overall, ended up being a bit better of a scenario than I was expecting, which is great. It did have some customization to it, so it's gonna get a thumbs up from me on that one. And then, of course, the question becomes, what are we gonna do when we get the new official scenario released? That is coming up soon. I'm not going to show it to you right now, but as of tomorrow, it's going to be here. And I will have a Mega Brutal guide ready for you just a couple of hours after release. So stay tuned, because if you're excited, you ain't seen nothing yet. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I'd ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.